Good morning, Ohio. James Ernest of the Grueling Truth Network here with legendary wrestler Sam Houston. Sam, thank you for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having me. I believe y'all, what'd you say, Ohio?
Yes, sir.
I was there a couple of months before all this virus stuff started happening. I wrestled up there with Chris Pruitt and that gang over there. I think Centerville was the name of the town.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it was the biggest house they'd had in almost 3 years or something like that. I heard, but I know people were hanging from the rafters, and it was awesome. It was thunder. I mean, when the fans, I don't know, they were really right there with me. Of course, I still got it, So they were really right there with me, and there was a full capacity, and they were yelling my name at the top of their lungs. It was like very humbling, but I had to stop everybody, and let them know they need to give the glory to God, because He's the one that's allowed me to be in here for so long.
Awesome.
Yeah. But I can't wait for the next trip back.
Sounds great.
To Ohio.
Which organization was that in Ohio?
Oh gosh, you would have to talk to my manager, Will Knight. Gosh, I mean, right now in my career, I'm not really following up on, the alphabet part anymore.
I know what you mean. I was going to say there's so many of them, and you probably worked with so many different companies over the year. It's hard to keep track.
Oh yeah, I mean, I won the world title in Longview, Texas. I couldn't tell you what for organization it was, but that was the world title in Longview, Texas.
Nice.
So you can call, but the only place that title will ever be defended or wrestled for will be in Longview, Texas, for that one promoter. But that's the world title. Excellent. You know what I mean? So
I'd like to start at the beginning. What sports did you play growing up?
Oh, growing up, well, shoot, we were on the road. So, I lived 21 places before I started first grade. I got into wrestling when I started in the second grade. I was going to, we were in Baton Rouge, and I was going to, Coach Murphy, Barrett Murphy, was the wrestling coach at Catholic High School. I'm not Catholic, but a friend of mine was, and he was going to that school. And he told me about the wrestling camp, and then I went to it. And then what was neat was, because I was Grizzly's son and everything, all the other guys like Danny Hodge and Jay Clayton and everybody else, whenever I'd go to a Saturday morning wrestling meet or the workout, a bunch of the boys showed up.
Oh, nice.
So Coach Murphy figures, well, hey, I'll let this second grade kid work out with my high school boys. His friends will come along, and who can teach these guys more about wrestling? A professional wrestler with a good amateur background, or an English teacher with a good amateur background? And I'm not saying nothing bad about English teachers or teachers in any way, shape, or form, but who would you rather have to tutor your kid if you got the opportunity? An AAU champion or an NCAA champion? Or, you know what I mean?
I know what you mean, exactly.
I don't want, because everybody's offended nowadays.
Exactly. People do love to get offended. You're Yeah, because I got my degree in teaching and all, but to be quite honest with you, if you said, hey, either me or Angle or me or Benjamin or, any of the people with the background in it, definitely I'd much rather have somebody with that more experience teaching the kids the wrestling. I agree with you 100% there. So,
and I've always been more of a singles athlete, I broke my arm playing football in like 4th or 5th grade, but, it wasn't organized or anything like that. And I got to tell you, to be honest with you, because we were on the road so much and, for a long time, my best friend and everything was my sister, Rockin' Robin, while we were little.
So,
and our thing was to get out there, and we would play tether ball, We had one of those good tetherball sets like they have in the schools and stuff. We had one, and we would sit out there and play tetherball for hours. Our arms would be bruised up and everything else. I mean, they were. We did that a lot. Football. I tried tennis a couple of times, but I wasn't real good. I mean, I could jump over the net, but a lot of times I didn't land so well, I guess. I don't know. Never got into golf. I liked rodeo and some. I bulldogged a little bit, hence my bulldog. Yep. Did some roping and everything. Nelson Royal taught me a little bit of rodeoing up at his place up in Mooresville, North Carolina. So it was cool,
So you and Robin...
wrestling was my passion. Me and Robin, what now?
Oh, you and Robin grew up together?
Well, sort of. Up until the time I believe I was 12 years old, 12 or 13, right in that area. My mom and dad split up, and they, started divorce proceedings, and I ran away during a hurricane in South Louisiana. Oh gosh, and anyway, after I did that and everything, I moved in with Dad and went on the road with Dad. And so from then on, it was my mom and my sister here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and then I was on the road with Dad.
So what kind of athlete was Robin?
Robin? She did the softball thing and, the volleyball thing and everything growing up. She was a great athlete. She was a dancer. She used to go to this dance class, Miss Kathy's School of Dance, and she did that for years and years and years. So she had stamina. She had skills. She was agile. Best doggone woman's world champion. Well, I'll say one of the best because there's been a few girls that are like just out of this world, with their skills. But my sister was one of the first, I believe. In that era, it's like people ask me who the greatest woman's champion is. Well, automatically right away I want to say my sister, but I have to realize. You had other, I'm not trying to say Moolah or anything like that, but you had other lady wrestlers, like if you wanted. Susan Green beat Moolah in a shoot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you've got, who's the greatest women's wrestler? Well, you really can't choose one, but all I got to say is my sister's at the top of that list.
Oh, definitely. She's definitely on that list.
She changed. She's a pioneer. Between her and Sherry Martell and ladies like Medusa and these are ladies. I think I never saw too much of Mimi's stuff. I've seen Misty Blue and those girls. I saw, but Leilani Kai. Leilani Kai. I'm not sure. I don't think she ever held the strap, but she should have.
She should have. She was very talented.
I've known Patty since she was like 15, 16 years old and just breaking in the business. She had braces on her teeth when I first met her.
So you mentioned traveling on the road with your dad. Is that when you started doing your training?
Well, no. I've been when I got into high school. First of all, I knew from when I was 4 years old that I was going to be a wrestler. So my training was actually going on all my life. My best friends, I had friends that school friends and stuff, but my best friends were Dick Murdoch or Danny Hodge or the guys I'd see it every night because I was on the road with my dad. Danny Hodge come over and grab you in a front face lock, and show you how to hurt somebody with it.
Exactly.
So I've been learning how to shoot from these guys for years. Nice. It's one of the things you learn, coming up is, don't let somebody like Stu Hart put their hands on you. He will hurt you. My big thing now, to everything is, and I did it at Wildcat Wrestling down in New Orleans. Uh-huh. I went through all the guys. I made the first guy, I told him and he was the one that snickered 2 nights earlier. So he's the reason I brought my boots that night.
Nice.
So when he pulled up in his police vehicle, and me, of course, not long out of prison and the whole 9 yards, I want to know if he's got what it takes.
Mm-hmm.
So he was the first one I got in the ring, and I told him, I said, "You're a cop." I said, "I said, you've got to protect the people." I said, "I want you to come at me with everything you got, like your life depends on it." I made him scream, tap out, and cry 7 times.
Nice.
So Rod Price buzzes me, and he goes, "Hey, Sam," he said, "all the other guys are kind of snickering, So I got each one of those other guys, and there's probably about 15 or 16 of them, and made each one of them scream, cry, or tap out at least 3 times.
Oh, dang.
That way I was showing those guys that this guy wasn't he wasn't a girly man, but, sometimes you get in situations that, unless you know what you're doing, you're in trouble.
Exactly.
And I'm one of those situations, I think.
So it sounds like
or I can be.
So it sounds like your training was kind of more cumulative through a lot of people.
Yeah, all through the years, from 13. The first person that ever pulled me in the ring, it was at a Dothan, Alabama TV taping, and I was sitting on the side of the ring before they opened the doors for the people to come in, and Randy Tyler slid in the ring behind me and grabbed me by the hair and pulled me in the ring. I had a little 10-minute match with me. Jumped out of the ring. I was 12 years old, 13 years old. Jumped out of the ring and went straight to my dad and said, "The kid's a natural."
Oh, nice.
Oh gosh, I had my tonsils. I was gonna break into the business and everything was gonna be great after I graduated high school. And what happened was in '81, I had my tonsils taken out, and they killed me on the table. That I died at a massive heart attack they nicked the back of my fornix.
Oh,
they nicked my fornix and then gave me the anesthesia. And that anesthesia was all in my head and my chest cavities and everything surrounding my heart and caused a massive heart attack. I died in the operating room when they were slicing the sides of my neck open so they could bleed that gas out.
Oh, shit.
I didn't eat food from April the 2nd that year to August the 13th. I went from 230 pounds down to 128 pounds. I was a walking, talking skeleton, I got out of the hospital. My goal was to get out of the hospital and make the Superdome extravaganza that night, And I made it on I think it was August the 14th that year. So anyway, the surgery, the whole 9 yards, that put me breaking in the business, later. So it took me about a year to get my weight back up. I got my weight back up, and I worked out in the ring twice with George Weingroff. Uh-huh. And George Weingroff was legally blind, but he taught me how to wrestle by feel. We were shooting, and he sugared me out the whole 9 yards, But I came back for more. Kept coming back, and then it got to where he couldn't hook me and he couldn't hurt me. And this was just 2 workout sessions for about an hour and a half apiece. When I told Dad I'm ready, and my dad said, "I've already lost you once, son. I don't want to lose you again." And he told me this business was not for me. But I'd already got a hold of Dusty, and Dusty gave me my starting date. And I went down to Florida. And Dusty was the one that hung the name Sam Houston. He goes, "Baby, your name is Mike Sam Houston," Uh-huh. And then it was Mike Sam for the first month, and then after that they just dropped it down to Sam. No. And I've been, I've been both blessed. I've been through hell and back, but I've been blessed in more ways than you can imagine. Even today, I've done some hard time. I've been through some hellacious things, but I'm getting blessed every day, and I'm doing whatever I can to help other people.
That is phenomenal. Yeah, I was going to say that was one of the things Will was telling me about how you go around and you help out other people, usually the elderly or like military vets, that kind of thing.
Well, this lady up in Mooresville, North Carolina. Gosh, about a month ago, she didn't have anything. She doesn't have anything. She lost her husband, the whole 9 yards. She lives over there by the lake in North Carolina. Well, she had a big storage shed, and some of the stuff was falling off of it. Beautiful shed was. I'll send some pictures, or I'll post some later or something. But a beautiful shed. So I got out there and did some repair work on it because I was working on a lady's house about 4 streets down anyway. So I went over there and worked on that. Well, she's got some barn doors, so I went over there today. She's got she was able to swing by with most of the materials and everything, but I've been building this furniture out of pallet boards.
Oh, nice.
Lately, and we've been doing that for getting some donations for fulfilling the needs, so I can do these odd jobs for people. Because like the lady in Marshall, North Carolina, she's disabled. She's basically stuck in her house, but she needs repairs done her house, and she's on a fixed income. She's on she don't have anything extra. And that's when it's a call to arms and say, hey, we got to help these people out. I may not have any money to where I can help anybody out, but as long as I got a hammer and a screwdriver and I know what to do with it, I can do something. I'm building a ramp. Oh gosh, the son is 75 years old. The mom is 95.
Oh my!
But they've got a 2-foot drop, downstairs, and the mom is in a wheelchair, so the son can't do anything. And because of the codes that you have to go by and stuff, this ramp's got to be almost 20 foot long. Well, it's actually it's supposed to be, it's a 22-inch drop, so I think it's got to be right at 20 foot or 22 foot.
Yeah, because it's about, for every inch it goes down, you have to go out a foot. Yeah, something like that.
Well, because you don't want a roller coaster ride with your wheelchair. I would, and give me my red cape while I'm doing it, too, But I'm going to be doing that this weekend. And then one of my buddies that's helping with the marketing, he said, would you mind doing this? And I was like, is it, how much does it pay? He's like, we kind of need to donate this one. They don't have it. So, I'm taking whatever I can with reclaimed wood and stuff like that, trying to save money wherever I can for these people so they don't have to, spend a whole lot. And that's one of the things that we're requiring for the guys that are doing, I do the podcast for, and I want to be able to shout out to all the folks if they'd like to help out, too. You can go to WrestlingLegend2020 at gmail.com and make a donation, like a $20 donation or something like that. I'll send you an autographed picture or whatever. So it's not just a donation that, you're just throwing money away or something like that. If you feel like, well, you can take the picture and sell it on eBay and get your money back. But it'll help us help other people.
So it sounds like it's going to a great cause. It's giving back to the community, and it's helping out a lot of people. That is phenomenal.
Yeah, and then some other great things. I've been on the phone. I guess people have been catching wind of the stuff I'm doing. So I've been approached now about doing some documentary stuff. But with my life, you can't just put me on a 2 or 3 hour special. You couldn't even put everything in a Forrest Gump special movie. So we're going to be shooting for a docu-series, something that'll last out multiple seasons. That way you can get involved in everything, because everything I'm doing is worthwhile and it's encouraging, and it's designed to help other people. It's designed to be, you asked me about wrestling. Well, wrestling is my passion. It was my dream. Well, anybody out there that's got a dream or a passion, man, if you go into it second best, or if you're not on your A game when you get that chance, chances are you ain't going to get picked. When you go out there and you got that chance in your life, you might only get that one shot to grab the brass ring. So you better make damn sure you give it the best shot you got, and you give it everything you got. We're supposed to be doing that in everything we've done, or in everything we are. I look back, and if you want to say it like this, my Creator made me. My Creator, Yahweh, God, our God. I'm His creation. He has ordained me to be able to pray for people, to be able to pray for healing, for resurrection, whatever I can pray for. He has ordained me to go out and help. And what kind of honor am I going to be doing if I only give something half of my best? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So if this business is your passion, man, reach out and get it. Get everything you can. Value every minute of ring time you get,
Oh, definitely. So who helped you to find the Lord?
Who helped me? Well, I'm going to tell you, when I was 12 years old, I went to Parkview Baptist Church in Louisiana, South Louisiana, and I made the walk down there when I was 12 years old, but I did that for the donuts, I really had never put a lot of hope in it. When I died, when I was 17, I had a tunnel experience. I woke up in a bright place. If I had to describe it in a word, I would have to say yellow. It was just contentment. It was warmth. It was everything you'd ever want. Oh gosh, it was exuberant. I don't know, but the overwhelming feeling was, imagine feeling yellow. That glow, that, contentment, everything is met. So I knew him then, and I had a spiritual life with him, but I really never practiced it much. I was Sunday, if I make it to church preacher, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't first and foremost in my life. I was still putting me first, and I put me first for a lot of years, and I'm learning right now, that you put him first. And the blessings, the blessings are abundant, I had, my sister and I, we had a difference of opinion a while back. My daughter, so we weren't working together, and I was broke. But because of me helping Wildcat Wrestling, my daughter was doing a music tour, and she was coming through New Orleans, and I was able to, through Wildcat Wrestling, they got her a gig at the Lee Theater, where it used to be the Robert E. Lee bar or something on Robert E. Lee Circle. It's kind of, Anyway, I got her a gig for Halloween night. How cool is that? A gig in New Orleans, Halloween night. So anyway, my daughter, I didn't get to see her. I make it to the show, about an hour before she goes on. And I got to tell you, man, I didn't have two nickels to rub together, really. I was hurting bad. And my daughter pulls me out from the dressing room area and takes me outside the bar. And she said, "Dad," and she pointed down the street. She goes, "When you first went to prison," she said, "I lived right down that road." She said, "Now work down this road over here." And she said, "And I rode the streetcar every day, and I would ride by this place twice every day." But she said, "But because I was 17, she goes, I couldn't come in here and have a beer." And she goes, "That was always one of my dreams, to be able to come here and have a beer." And she said, "And I always heard the happy music when I'd go by." And she said, "And that's been a dream of mine too, to be able to play at this place." And, I didn't have two nickels to rub together, but my daughter told me, she said, "Dad, you made my dream come true."
That is awesome.
Yeah. How awesome is that? And this happens to us every day, but we don't recognize our blessings, I think, a lot of times, because a lot of people are so self-absorbed,
Is that
I mean, I don't know. Huh?
Oh, I was going to say, is that the daughter that's the wrestler, or is that the other?
No, that's my daughter. That's the musician, Micah, my first daughter, firstborn. Micah Tyler is her name. She plays. Her band is called Never Knots.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they play punk, and I like all music. I kind of do it, and my daughter's got one song that I really love. It's called Sunshowers. I like all of her music, but my issue with her music is I can't hear her voice. And, you know, I hear the beating on the guitars and stuff like that, but I cannot hear the voice. So that would be my, no, it's not. That would be my point of constructive criticism.
I know what you mean. Sometimes,
yeah, I'm wanting to hear one thing, and I feel like I'm being robbed of that.
Exactly. Sometimes those genres, the accompaniment is too loud, and the singer is not loud enough. I know what you mean.
Right. Yeah. But I just had a great meeting with a fellow by the name of Josh Horn here in Monroe, North Carolina last night. He's got a recording studio and everything. I don't know if your listeners or if you've heard my song on YouTube, Salvation. Have you heard my song yet, Josh?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, hopefully you listen to it. It'll give you 3 minutes in a prayer. It empowers you. It's a great song. People, compare me to Johnny Cash or this one or that, And I take it as an honor, But it's something I wrote the night I got saved. Well, going back to that one thing, and this goes back to my song. I put myself first for a lot of years. And then I was having trouble in the mid-'90s in Texas. And it was a Wednesday evening, and it was kind of a stormy night a little bit, overcast and everything. And my aunt wouldn't let you smoke in the house, so I was outside smoking a cigarette, and I was watching all those people walk into the church. They were just humdrum. A couple of them happy to see folks and stuff like that, but they were just congregating, I was sitting over there. Well, I was still sitting out there when church let out, and I saw all those people happy and loving life, loving life, And I went over, and Brother Joe Patterson, he's, I guess, my pastor. Brother Joe was the one I went over and talked with him that night. And that's when I really sort of made my decision, but it was still putting self first. And it wasn't until my prison stint and everything else that I did that, and I came out a better man. I've got almost 11 years sober now.
Oh, wow, that is phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm the guy that used to toss back a double shot of Jack Daniels and gargle it for 10 seconds. That's rough. That's hard to do, y'all. Yeah, I was a professional alcoholic. Yeah. No, but I was in some bad situations in prison. I was in some hairy situations offshore, and it all lets you know that it could all be over in a second. Yeah. Just a second. So, but they say live every day like it's your last. Well, yeah. What we're supposed to do is we're supposed to edify. We're supposed to glorify our Creator every day. Give Him everything. Because He's the reason we're here. We're all in a line, Just imagine we're all standing in a line. One behind the next, one behind the next. We don't know when our number is. But when it's up, it's up. You could have a whole lot of false finishes in life like I have. I've probably been dead 3 or 4 times. Alcohol and, I had to be brought back from drinking too much. I woke up one time in the hospital with a blood alcohol content of 0.417, a blood pressure of 266 over 160.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, the doctor said the F word. And when I woke up, he was trying to stick me in the arm with the IV. And he tells me all my stats, and he looks at me, and I said, well, okay. I said, I'm going to go smoke a cigarette. I'll be right back. You can do this.
Oh,
yeah. But I had a high tolerance back then, I guess. Now, I don't have the problems, I guess. I don't know if I'm over it or if I just, I think a lot of it is I made a commitment, in my life a long time ago I went to court to pay a ticket for an improper lane change. They threw that out and hit me with a fourth offense DWI. I told the district attorney I've never had a third offense DWI. He said, if I have to redo the paperwork, he goes, I'm going to hit you with the Habitual Offender Act.
Oh, wow.
He said, I'll set you down for the rest of your life. He said, you sign off on this for the fourth offense. He said, we're going to give you 10 years. He said, you'll serve half of it, and then you'll be on parole.
Oh,
he goes, if you try to fight it in court, we're going to give you 30 flat. Okay, but he didn't let me know. They didn't tell me that I'd be signing off on my second felony arrest. I'd never had a first felony arrest. But on paper, I'm a much worse person than I am.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. But I mean, look, they're into making deals, and as long as you sign off on something, then that shows positive. That shows good on their conviction.
Yeah.
Ratio. This is something I wanted to point out. I was going to do it on Facebook, but they said, "Oh, they've been charged." Well, when they would do these news things, they've been charged. You can get charged for anything. You can be walking down the sidewalk, and get charged with anything I want to throw on you. I knew a cop that, and if you ran a stop sign, he'd write you a DUI ticket. All right, well then, the judge is going to throw that out, but it's still going to show on your record that you were charged with that. So when another officer pulls you over, what does your report say? He was charged. It doesn't say you were convicted. It doesn't say that anywhere on your rap sheet.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, see, that's one of the things people need to wake up about.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. They shouldn't be doing anything.
Well, there's so many big and that's what I'm so happy about this docu-series. I'll be able to get into issues with people because I want people to understand about some of these workforce rehabs.
Uh-huh.
Goodness, they're making the money.
Yeah.
What it is it's a total sleep deprivation thing for you. You're sleeping like 3, 4, 5 hours a night. You're working like 7 between working and classes and everything else. I mean, you have no time. And they're keeping all the money. They get the government grants. You filled out a food stamp card, and you've given it to them. I was in Senior Corps. I know how this works in Louisiana. 200 people. Each person was getting $200 in food stamps. Well, we were getting our food from the food bank. Our food was donated free for. So where was that $40,000 worth of food stamps going?
Yeah.
A month.
Yeah.
$40,000 a month.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so it's a whole lot bigger picture than what people realize. There's a whole. I love when all this stuff is going down now. The Great Awakening and stuff. I don't know if you follow me on Facebook, but I'm all into Q and what's going on there. I think a lot of things need to change. In politics.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. The world can be a quite scary place.
Well, we're supposed to make it better, not worse. But you get bad people, you get the enemy out there, and that's what it is. It's been a spiritual warfare for years and years and years. We've just been blinded by it and not shown the truth. Do you know? Okay, oh God, did you know that Constantine the Great, right? The guy that invented Catholicism. 325 years. He edited 44 books out of scriptures. He took 44 books out, like the Book of Enoch, the Book of Thomas. The Book of Thomas tells you how to pray. You have to turn your words and your thoughts into emotion. And that's when your prayers are answered. But so much of the knowledge has been taken out of Scripture, and that's one of the things we're getting ready to do. I'm waiting on a Sacred Name Bible, and then I'm going to start. And look, oh gosh, I love the Lord. Or my God is Yahweh. He says in Exodus 3:15, he tells Moses, he says, I'm the great I am. You know, and Moses say, well, yeah, but what's your name? And in Exodus 3:15, he says, my name is Yahweh, a name to be remembered through all generations. Now, in Scripture, before Constantine adulterated it and everything in Scripture, the Master had his name written in Scripture 6,828 times. All right, Constantine comes along, starts manipulating the word and taking his name out and replacing it with God, which God is a reference to the demonic deity Gad, and calling him Lord. Well, Lord was actually the name of Lord Baal, which Lord Baal is the deity that Constantine worshipped. Constantine came up with the Catholic religion. He mixed Christianity with all the pagan religions that were going around at the time, because he needed the money from the Christians. Uh-huh. Oh, I know all about my history and stuff, you know. But I'm waiting, and this is one of the things I'm going to start enlightening people on, because, you know, we've been deceived for many years. You know, the letter J did not come around, was not invented until the 1400s. So there was no Jesus back then. Uh-huh. You know, his name in Greek was Jesus, I-E-S-O-U-S. Now, the reason I say that is because James, Jesus' half-brother, or Yeshua's half-brother, he was born a Hebrew. His name was Yeshua. But anyway, James wrote, in the book of James, either he wrote or it was scribed in Greek. So they put the Greek translation to his name, I-E-S-O-U-S. Then, gosh, everybody went with Constantine's word for a long time. There were groups that were carrying the unadulterated word. Then King James comes along in the year 1611 with the King James Version of the Bible. And they went ahead and they took out, they come out with the 1611 King James Version of the Bible. In that whole book, there's not a J anywhere in it. Huh. They still had the Master's name written as I-E-S-O-U-S, even though his name was Yeshua, which his name, Yahweh is our Master. He's our God. Yahweh means self-existing one. Yeshua means Yah is salvation. That's the meanings of these names. So he says he came in his Father's name. Well, what makes sense to you? Yahweh and Jesus, or Yahweh and Yeshua? Yeah. He came in his Father's name. Huh. And then where we've been deceived is, we've been deceived by, I believe, I can't remember the name of the verse right now, but it says the name above all names, you know? Uh-huh. There's only one name above all names. Well, it's not Jesus Christ. That name did not exist. It wasn't written into the King James Version of the Bible until the 1670s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so people don't realize this stuff. So people have been deceived. You know, the book tells us, seek and ye shall find. You know, Hosea 4:6, and this is one of the things I think about now, you know, because you think about, my great-granddad, well, he wasn't available, or he didn't get to, couldn't get this knowledge. It was well hidden, right? And then, but in the Word, in Hosea 4:6, I believe it says that the Master winked at our ignorance, but for a while. So he's forgiven that. For that time. But now that the knowledge is right there and available, if we're not seeking the Master, then we're not going to find him. You know, he said the path is straight and the gate is narrow, and few ever reach the kingdom of heaven. Few ever make it to the kingdom of heaven. You know? Well, right now, he taught one way. You know? He observed all the Jewish holidays. You know, he kept the Sabbath, he kept the law, and he said he is the way, the truth, and the light. Right? So, how come we have 4,000 different versions of Christianity or religions? There's only one way, and it's through him. And you got 4,000 different sects.
Oh, wow. I didn't know there. I mean, I knew there were a lot, but wow.
Yeah, but 4,000?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, to join this religion, you got to do the curly shuffle. You know? You know? Anyway, I hunger for the word. I want to know the truth, and it's all in there. But we've got to be diligent enough not to just accept what we've been given. When it says in the word that we're getting there through Him. We're not getting there through traditions of men. So all these traditions and all these things that we think are Christian aren't. You know, Christmas Day, December 25th, that's the day of Saturnalia. That's worship to the sun god. You know, that's one of the pagan religions that Constantine molded into Christianity. Like Easter, the Messiah was killed. He was crucified. He was crucified on Ash Wednesday. They pierced his side on Wednesday. He arose Saturday evening on the Sabbath. When they came Sunday morning, he was already gone. He arose on the Sabbath. Easter Sunday, what they're celebrating is Noah's great-grandson was Nimrod. Nimrod thought he was one of the gods. His wife was Ishtar. She thought she was Isis reincarnated. So on the day after Passover, she would have a fertility sacrifice. They would kill babies and dye eggs in babies' blood.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, her name was Ishtar. What do they call? So what's the day after Passover? Oh, we call that Easter. What we do? We dye babies' blood. We're dyeing the eggs. We don't know what we do out of tradition. But the same thing on Saturnalia was to bow down before, to humble yourself before the evergreen. That's the Saturnalia tradition. So how do they trick people and Christians into doing that? They say, oh, this is the day Jesus was born, December 25th. You know, and we give each other gifts. So what do? You get on your knees, you bow down, you humble yourself in front of the tree and give people gifts. And you're saying you're doing that in the Messiah's name. Well, he didn't do that.
Oh, wow.
You know, so if I'm gonna celebrate something, I want to celebrate the days he saw what was important to him.
Yeah.
You know, it just makes sense to me.
That and the other thing, wasn't he born possibly not around Christmas time, like in the summertime?
Yeah, he was born around the summertime. I've heard, you know, you can, and I've Googled it, and it tells you when the star appeared in the sky and the whole 9 yards. But I don't know how long it took them three wise men, you know, to reach where they were going on Camelback. You know, it wasn't like getting in the Mercedes and pop in here, you know.
Exactly. And then,
although if they were riding those magic carpets, if you watch Ancient Aliens, you know,
yeah,
you could catch them. Because King Solomon had one of those. I've seen in writings.
Oh, wow.
I do a lot of studying, you know. You know.
Oh, definitely.
You know. Well, it's kind of like if you look in Second Kings, and this is, you know, when Elijah was taken, you know, he didn't die. He was taken by a chariot of fire that, you know, swept between Elijah and Elisha. A chariot of fire went between them and went up in the sky, and then Elijah ascended into it. Wow, sounds like, what does that sound like?
A spaceship?
Yeah. You know, people didn't write that stuff on the stone tablets and everything else on the walls and all these caves for nothing. You know, don't get me started, because I mean, I believe they're here, so yeah, I believe they've been here. William Cooper, I've read his book several times in prison, and he come clean about a lot of things, and that's one of the things I believe he was taken out for.
So,
he was a radio dispatcher for naval intelligence and stuff, so he was privy to a lot of information. The name of his book is called Behold a Pale Horse, if you want to really get enlightened.
So do they live amongst us, or do they go around?
I don't know. Well, okay, in 1909, I know the United States Cavalry were chasing banditos in the Superstition Mountains. Now, the Superstition Mountains, that's where the Lost Dutchman gold mine was. They said his gold was so pure, and he'd only come to town every once in a while, get what he needed, and he's back out. A lot of people went looking for that mine, but never could find it. Well, in 1909, the U.S. Cavalry chased some banditos, and the banditos went in one of the caves. And it's written in the report. They didn't know what to call them, but the 3-foot-tall gray aliens. But they encountered those in that cave, But if you go through, and like Phil Schneider, he's a geologist, and he built, I think, one video that I was looking at, where he says he's built 17 underground military bases. And he tells about the big firefight where 67 U.S. Emergency ops, black ops, green beret, black beret, lost their lives in a alien firefight. Phil Schneider killed one of the aliens, but the alien did something in front of his face, moved its hand over its heart, and burnt 2 of these guys' fingers off. I mean, you ought to check it out. It's fun. You can check him out. He was taken in mysterious circumstances. Phil Schneider is his name. Check him out. But but you got all kinds of stuff. Admiral Byrd, over Antarctica. Well, he believes he found a place where the fallen angels were cast. There's so much out there. They're finding the remains of the Nephilim now, and they're not limited to one country. They're all over the world. They found them here in the United States. 8 and 9 foot tall beings. I think there was one I seen 13 feet tall or something.
Oh wow.
I don't know if they're cannibals, but I can tell you, as far as I'm concerned, I've almost been eaten twice by cannibals in New Guinea. Thank God for the Australian Army.
So were you there for work or for other reasons?
Yeah, I was wrestling over there. We went on a tour over there, and I walked out in front of the hotel. I walked out. Guy walking down the street wearing a Tarzan loincloth, got a great big grass knife, carrying a spear, bow and arrow over his shoulders, big bones through his nose, his nipples, everything else. Walks up to me, he goes, "Pardon me, mate, can I bum a smoke?" I was thinking he was going to go, something like that. Yeah. But he talked better English than I did, Oh, wow. I gave him a cigarette, watched him walk off. I turned back around. Here comes a woman walking down the street, nursing a baby on one breast and a pig on the other.
Oh,
a pig.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was at autograph signing the first time, and the people picked me up, and they were carrying me out of the fairgrounds over their heads, And I'm thinking, oh, wow, they, big party. Yeah, I would have been the main course.
Oh, damn.
When the Australian Army got there, they started mowing people down with rubber bullets, beating them in the head with clubs, and big Rottweilers saving my ass. They get me in the transport, and the guy goes, "You ever watch Bugs Bunny?" I said, "Bugs Bunny, yeah." He said, "You know the one with the Ethiopian?" I was like, "Yeah." He said, "There was a big black pot in your future, mate."
Oh, wow.
I was like, "What?" He said, "They're cannibals." He said, "They believe that since I'm a fighter or a warrior, If they eat me, my spirit would live through them.
Oh, wow.
You know? So, I mean, these are some like cultures that have been going on for, thousands of years. There's got to be something to this. There's got to be something to eat. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, yeah, my big joke was, try Sam Houston and the other white meat,
Oh, damn.
And then the second time, me and Charlie Norris, we went to go get a bottle and get some water each. The store was right next door to the hotel. No sooner I might have been like 50 feet. Anyway, as soon as we walk into that store, we will find the water. There's only one bottle. We figure it's a half gallon. We'll split it. We walk up to the counter. Like 5,000 people were outside the front of that store wanting us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they had to call the Army to come get us that day. Charlie, because what's going on? I said they want to eat us.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was hard. I will tell you this much. Whenever we got back in the States, whenever we got back into Dallas, I walked right into my dad's place. Said, Dad, you're not booking me ever again on any overseas tours.
Oh,
They had this nut. They got this nut that grows on trees. It's called beetle nut.
Uh-huh.
And they eat this nut, and it gives them a cocaine high. They eat the nut all day, and then at night you'll have one guy come over. The people lived in grass huts like Gilligan's Island. You can tell if they had a remodeling and home improvement done because there'll be beer boxes instead of palm leaves in the walls.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So anyway, but this guy will come out and he'll have his big long machete knife. It's a grass knife. And he'll come out in the middle of the square, and some other guy will come out of this little village over here. And then they get right there together and start hacking each other to death. After the matches, we'd go get a case of beer each and sit up there on the hotel balcony and watch it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was something else.
Definitely. It sounds phenomenal.
Yeah, it was. I've lived a life, bro. Like I said, I tell people all the time, I'm through this life and everything else that I've had, that the Master's given me. Yeah, I've had a lot of pitfalls, but I've had a lot of great times too. I opened up for the Who at the world's biggest party. I wrestled before the Who came and played their concert.
Oh, wow.
In Houston at the Astrodome and at Reunion Arena for their show at Texas Stadium.
Nice.
That was awesome, I was almost eaten by cannibals twice. I've got this thing with some of the greatest country music superstars there is. When I rolled out of the ring, and I hate to say it like this, but this is what the man really said. I rolled out of the ring after a match at the CACs in Las Vegas.
Uh-huh.
I rolled out of the ring. Chris Christopherson, the highwayman, sitting on front row, stands up, comes and sticks his finger right in my face, and he says, "You're the real shit, man."
Nice.
Dude, how many people? I know 300 guys that can say I'm a world champion, but I'm the only one I know of that can say Chris Christopherson said I was the real shit. I've had, but I don't know. What I want everybody to know is, we're in some hard times right now, and folks need help. If you've got it, help with it. You can't take it with you when you go. You don't know when your number is, but I'm going to do everything I can to exonerate. Edify and to edify, testify. Glorify my God.
Definitely.
And he tells me to love everybody as I love myself. So if I'm going to do that, boy, the world better get ready. Whole lot of loving going on now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Sam, it has been a pleasure having you on the show.
Hey, thanks, man. And I know we didn't really talk a whole lot about wrestling and stuff like that, but you provided a little thing, something new for me to bounce off. Just bounce off and and talk about different stuff, and I really enjoyed it and appreciated it, and thank you for the opportunity. I really would like to come back on your show some other time when I've got more that I want to promote, because I want to push some things that are getting ready to happen. There's getting ready to be I'm told a dark side of the ring. I'm not sure, so I'm not going to, really don't want to say too much. But Jake called me the other night and asked me if I'd do it, so I told him, yeah, but I hadn't heard back. And then some of the people that I'm working with, they're going to be doing a documentary. I'm going to be appearing in the LPWA documentary. I'm probably the only male wrestler ever to get a Legend Award from the Ladies Pro Wrestling Association. Yeah, I'm Super Sam. Anyway, after they wrapped that one, then they're going to do one on my life story. But then because of my life, there's so much going on, we're gonna break that down into a docu-series.
Awesome. Yeah, anytime you have things to promote, we are more than happy to share that with our listeners.
Well, right now, I want people, you can look me up on Patreon if people are familiar with that. It's kind of like a Facebook thing. There's some stuff on there. You can check that out. You can join on that. We're adding tiers to it, and you can help finance our, I don't know, help me with my dreams is to helping other people. You can go to Wrestling Legends, and if you want to, if you can contact Will Knight on my friends list on Facebook, he'll help you out. You can go to Wrestling Legends, make a donation there, and if you do, we'll get some, we'll put you in contact with Will, and we'll get you some merchandise or something else out. Just made a deal with a new T-shirt company in Amarillo, Texas. Man, they sent me some awesome stuff. There's a new Sam Houston face mask out now. But we're going to make one change because I want to promote healthy breathing. For people, because I know one of the things right now is you can't breathe. Well, you can't breathe. Well, anybody that has trouble breathing or difficulty with breathing, if they'll take eucalyptus oil, put one drop on your hands in the morning. If you're having difficulties breathing, smell your hands throughout the day. But now with the mask and everything, it's got a pocket inside the mask. We can put eucalyptus oil on a filter, on just a paper filter. And then you can slide that into your mask, and then all day long while you're wearing your mask, you'll be able to breathe at full capacity.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I was going to say, it's the first time I've had an athlete that was talking about oil that it wasn't marijuana oil. So. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we get that one a lot, where they're like, yeah, they talk about that. But now that eucalyptus sounds great.
Yeah, I just want to be out here and help people, and I'm just, I'm trying to make it. I was supposed to be off of parole this month, but I'm not in the state of Louisiana. I'm still stuck here in North Carolina. So I'm working, trying to get there, but hopefully, with promoters canceling events and this, that, and the other, even when I would have gotten paid for it, they canceled the event. So. But I want to get off this thing and carry on my life and help people. If you want to, if your listeners want to reach out to me on I've got Sam Houston Fan Nation is my fan page. My personal page is under Michael Sam Houston. I'm full up on friends, but I'm a public figure, so everybody can look at my stuff, really. You can follow my page. And then on YouTube, we've got the Sam Houston brand page. And there's also a new one coming up. And then I'm about to be in the Killer Bee comic book series or something. I guess my gimmick or whatever in the Killer Bee comic book is Heaven's Highwayman.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so gosh, man, I really do appreciate all the attention and stuff like that. But like I said, if I can teach one thing to people is give it everything you got. Be the best you can possibly be. Don't settle for second best ever in yourself. You know, you might not be the best one and the fastest one in the race, but if you got out there, your Creator knows if you got to give it your heart or not. You know, and we're supposed to give Him our all.
You mentioned speaking to Jake recently. With that, is it true what I read online that his cancer is gone into remission? He doesn't have cancer anymore?
Oh, I didn't know he had cancer. I knew he had cancer tumor in his leg a while back in 2016, but I thought he beat it then. I didn't.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, it might have been an old article, but my folks the other day, when I mentioned that I was interviewing you, yeah, they had seen something online about your brother, and they're like, oh, well, you know, ask him about that. And I'm like, well, yeah, so that's good to hear that he's in good health, in other words.
Yeah, well, when I talked to him the other day, of course, through the virus, I've talked to him probably 4 or 5 times, you know, just checking in, touching base, making sure he's okay. Kind of stuff. And then he called me the other day about the Vice TV thing. I said, you know, I'd be interested, yeah. Yeah, he was. I knew he was battling with it in 2014 or 15, something like that. But then I remember he had the tumor taken out of his leg.
That is awesome to hear that he's in good health, and it sounds like you're moving in the right direction. Great things are happening.
Oh, yes, sir.
Excellent. We've enjoyed having you on the show.
Well, thanks for having me, like I said, and I'd love to come back on again.
Excellent. Yeah, because I was going to say next time I want to hear about your daughter's blossoming wrestling career, and of course more about your other daughter's music career. I mean, that sounds really exciting and really interesting, and we always love hearing about the third generation wrestlers. I mean, that is phenomenal.
Hey, but then I'm serious. Y'all take some time. Just take 3 minutes and go to YouTube, because the Lord gave it to me, and I want to give it to y'all. Listen to Salvation by Sam Houston.
Salvation by Sam Houston. I will definitely check that out tonight. I look forward to it, and definitely, hopefully, our listeners will check that out. And yeah, anytime you have something to promote, feel free to touch base with us. Have Will.
I sure will.
And then we'll follow up with you and have you back on to talk more Dusty and.
I'll give you some good stories.
Yeah. Sounds
okay, brother. You take care, and thank you so much.
My pleasure, Sam. You have a great day.